Okay, so welcome back, YouTube. We got a pretty good video today. Want to tell who you are?
I'm the guy he never posts. Call me Mr. 100,000 views.
Okay. His name is Mark, since he want to play like that. I actually posted Mark on YouTube a few times, if you go back to some of my older videos. But the reason Mark is here today because we're about to make a super dope YouTube video. So he told it's a lot of I heard it's what it's called, the Dropfade.
Oh, that's what they be saying?
Yes, they call it the Dropfade. They call it the 360. What is it? 360 taper. But it's anyway. He getting the Dropfade. But I'm gonna tell y'all what's funny. So this haircut that y'all been, I think Poppy Blasted had posted it, and the cut got big amongst waivers after Poppy Blasted posted it. I mean, after he got the haircut. But what a lot of people don't realize is actually Poppy Blasted was watching Mark's YouTube video and had his barber, I think it's Wavy Key, shout out to him because he a cold barber, had him give him the cut that Mark had. And the reason I know is because I had a client who actually who sent me his story. He was watching the haircut in the background, which is dope, you know what I'm saying? I found it dope, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy waivers on the cut. But my man Mark here is technically the original. And I'm the original. And when I say original, you know, Cat's been getting a haircut, but it went big. But your inspiration came from his, you know, he's the inspiration. I'm the inspiration, so. But yeah, so you basically about to run the cut back, man. Mark then got his waves. So, well, they been fired, but I'm about to just show them to you. Them things is hitting hard. You been taking care of them, bro?
Yeah, I've been doing
Mark he's a waiver who doesn't want to be a waiver. He brushes his hair sometimes. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Let's look at Mark's hair. Ooh. I don't even know if I can see that, man. Yeah, so Mark, you know, Mark dipping, man. Mark brushes his hair probably once a month. I'm like, Mark, listen, bro, we about to shoot this YouTube video.
Put my do-rag for about 5 minutes.
Put your do-rag, see what I'm saying? Put your do-rag on, do right. Mark just like, bro, he like, whatever, bro, I got you, bro. So we finna go, we about to, man, this cut about to be saucy. Another reason why I ran this cut back is because I had posted this haircut like on Instagram, I think like 3-4 weeks ago, and it went crazy. Like a lot of people, bro, shoot a tutorial. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna reshoot the tutorial, better quality, and we finna turn up, man. So you guys watching, it's about to go down.
Bruh.
Okay, welcome back, you guys. It's the GameChanger here, and this cut came out great. I'm super excited to present this to you all. First off, I want to give a shout out to my boy Mark D. This instrumental is crazy. He's sent me so many. So if you guys want some or need some great beats, check him out. The link will be in the comments to his Instagram, and so appreciate you, bro. So we got a Dropfade here, special edition. We're gonna call this Dropfade is for waivers. I want to teach barbers or just, you know, waivers how to present it to their barber, how to do a Dropfade for waivers who want to keep a lot of their progress. And what progress is basically the waves that you've gained throughout your woof or as you brush your hair. Progress, the growth that you have. All right, so first we're gonna start by dropping it. The difference between the Dropfade and the bar fade is a Dropfade drops pretty low below the occipital bone. Well, it drops below the occipital bone and it kind of transitions up around the ear and then stops below the taper. If you can kind of see, it runs parallel to where his eye ends, okay? All right, so when you do a Dropfade on waivers, what you essentially want to do is take it quite a bit, maybe about an inch or inch and a half below the occipital bone. The reason why I suggest that is because you give yourself a nice amount of space to work with. One thing I notice when I see a lot of these fades is, for me personally, they're a little too bulky. I don't believe that no matter if you're a waiver or what, I want a nice transition. If it's too chunky, it won't look right, for my preference. And I think that a good transition on the fade is always good. So the way we keep transition but also keep progress, as you can see, his waves are still up high or they're still down low and the fade is low, is I start lower. I still create about an inch to an inch and a half guideline, which you see me making right now. This is my secondary line. All right, now this line that I'm fading out is my primary line. primary line is the lighter line. Secondary line is the line that's the same length as the hair. All right. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually fading in that primary line. All right. So when I'm fading, as you can see right now, I'm using my comb because I want to keep the hair gapped and spaced. Now look right here. You see the way I'm cut at it with a C angle. I'm fading. You can use that stroke when the client hair grows at a sideways pattern. Make your job much easier. All right. So this is where I'm blending the hair into the scalp. Okay. Very important. You don't have to hold your clippers very heavy. As you can see, I'm kind of holding at the base of the clipper, and I'm very light on the stroke. Professional grade clippers have great motors. They have great blades. Okay, so what I'm basically trying to say is you don't need to apply much pressure. Usually, when you apply heavy pressure when you're doing a fade, you're actually going to create a darker line. So let's look at that light fade. Also, as you can see with my left hand, what I'm doing is I'm stretching the scalp. Since I'm giving him a drop fade, this needs to be in tight spaces. What I want to do is I want to create a larger workspace. So what I do is I actually stretch the skin. The skin is very elastic for most people. So if I stretch that skin, it creates a larger workspace. Okay, it gives me about an inch more to work with. All right, so that's kind of what I just did. They got the primary line in. Wait till y'all see the way this fade came out. I promise it's fire. Okay. All right, so after I get this in, I'm about to start on the secondary line, but you guys watch me. I'm about to clean up after this. So me personally, I do believe in putting hard lines in. Basically, where I take the edger and I indent the line in, it makes the fade more symmetric and cleaner. And I also believe the way you can get that out, because a lot of barbers or people fear that it's hard to get that line out, just use the same clipper or type of clipper to remove it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just notching and taking out the excess bulk from the line, okay? Okay, so I'm going to cut Mark's hair down to 1.5 with the 1 on my Walls magic clip. First, I want to comb his hair. I want to gap it. I want to make it uniform, so that way when I cut, I won't gap or cut chunks off. Now, I'm using a 1 to do 1.5. What that means is basically I have a clipper that has an adjustable lever. I open the lever all the way up. I apologize about that. I open the lever all the way up, and then I go with the grain of the hair. That means I go with the direction that their hair grows. Okay? I take my time. So waves are compressed curls, if you would know if you watch my other videos. So what that means is they can be chunky. That's why I take my time. I don't want to gap them. Patience will always prevail. So remember that. Now it's time to debulk. Debulking is one of the most important steps for me when it comes to a fade. It creates uniformity. It creates comfort for younger barbers. This step is extremely important. Now, what debulking is basically when you take a guard larger than the length of the top of the hair, and you go against the grain and you work your way down to smaller guards to make your workspace lighter. The lighter the area, the easier to fade. So now I essentially have a 1.5 guard on against the grain, and I open the lever all the way up. Now that is considered a 2. And I'm just debulking. Light strokes. See that? Slow strokes sometimes. And if you notice, I'm not just wildly cutting. I'm hitting specific areas. Very important. Don't just cut. If you don't know what you're cutting, then most likely you're going to panic. So just take your time. Sometimes just reset. Now watch. Sorry about the blurriness right there. I debulk. I don't want to take those waves out. So what I do is I lightly hit those areas to keep the waves in, but I still need that area thin because remember, we don't want this fade to be chunky and bulky. We want it to be smooth with a nice transition, okay? So after I debulk with the 1.5, now I have my 1 guard. I open it and close. I adjust the lever, and now I just rework down. See, I won't go as high as I did with that 1.5. I just debulk down 1.5 to 1 to 1/16 to masters with the guard open, okay? So you guys just watch me work these transitions. As you can see as well, I'm stretching the skin, and I'll be back soon, but just watch me. And I'm using the comb. The comb is essential because it helps space those waves, all right? See you guys soon. So now what you see is my 1 on my masters. The masters has a larger comb, so I can cover more space without taking as much off. I just want to point hit. Point hit is when I hit certain areas at a time, okay? That's when I get those thicker areas. Now, this is the fun part. This is where it all comes together. If you can see look how light that area is. Now when it's time to fade this together, it's gonna be like butter. I'm telling you, you make the job easier. Like if you follow these steps, I promise you will see an extreme change in your game. Game changer. But yeah, so I'm stretching the skin and I'm working my areas. You pick an area and you work that area out. Now, as you can see, I transitioned back to the brush from the comb. The reason why most of my fading is pretty much done. Now, when I brush, what I'm doing is I'm actually laying the hair back down. I'm relaxing the hair. When you comb the hair, you raise the hair. Although when you gap it, you stand the hair up, which makes it easier to fade. But since I'm essentially done fading for the most part, I can get that hair laying back in this uniform pattern. All right. Now, after I hit a few spots, as you can see right here, I'm about to right now. Okay, so now I'm just hitting a little bitty area. See, boom. I stretch the skin. I work my space. Look at how the fade is coming together. But the waves are still there. I'm telling you, it's simple science behind it all. You follow the steps. Okay, look right here. What I'm doing is taking a warm rag before I do the edge up. I'm gonna swell those cuticles with hot water. The cuticle is the outermost layer of the hair. We have the cuticle, medulla, and the cortex. All right. The cuticle is the outer layer. If I can soften that up, it'll make it easier for my look at me, feeling it. So what I'm doing now is I'm the cuticle. If you soften the area, it makes it easier for your razor to glide across the skin with your shave gel or whatever you may use. All right. So what I'll do is for outline purposes and for YouTube, sometimes I go straight into it with the razor. But I know a lot of you guys like using clippers, so I'll show you how to do it with the clippers. I want to stretch it, keep it natural. All right. I want to stretch the skin with my thumb. And I'm basically just hitting that outline, okay? I want to outline. I don't want to push it in too much. Really don't want to push it in at all. He might have a few thin spots on his edge up that I might have to neaten up. But see right here, I'm just stretching the skin and keeping it very natural. All right? I want to comb those hairs down. Since most wavers have very curly hair and they curl and run. You can spray like a holding spray to keep them in place, or you can just come over the top with those clippers as well, and that'll do the job just fine. All right, so after I do this, I'm going to comb my razor, stretch the skin, and get it saucy. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. You watch, and I'll be back on. So tip, another reason why I use shave gel and I apply a very generous amount, this tip can help you. It's actually heavy on the hair. So when I say heavy on the hair, what does a heavy object do? It weighs you down. So that gel weighs the hair down so the hair can't run as I apply my razor. And then I can always wipe the excess off. But it's very important. Little things like that can make the hair come out. It makes the haircut look better after your client washes their hair. It makes the haircut look better, after they sweat, because you got those hairs that would essentially come back when the hair is not laid and slayed, I guess you can say. So little bitty tips like that, all right? See you guys soon. When I finish the side, I always like to come back with that razor and hit those little stubbles. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I'm about to edge the other side, and I'll show you at the end of this cut how to clean a fade up to give it that professional quality look. See that thin spot? See, I can take that little piece off without pushing the edge up back. You don't have to push the edge up an inch or an inch and a half back to make it look good. You do the proper techniques, and I'm telling you, it's butter every time, okay? Take your time, perfect the technique, tweak it and make it best for you, okay? So I'll be back. Please stay to the end. You're not going to want to miss this. So same technique on this side. So I'll let you guys watch and I'll be back. Okay, so y'all ready to watch one of the most important parts? The cleanup. Ooh, hope y'all like that, but hold on, we ain't done yet. Watch this. Okay, so now it's time for the cleanup part. This is where you get all those little stubbles. See how notch hit, find little spots. We're using the brush. That fade is fire. Now I clean. Watch how I clean. I come over the top and I get all those little bitty hairs that matter. Those ones that don't want to listen, that don't want to stay in their place, they gotta go. Now you can use some holding spray, you can use some spritz, you can use nothing if you steady-handed, and you can just hit those little ends. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay to the end so you can see the finished product. Subscribe, like. Oh man, I got some heat coming for y'all. GameChanger out.